I know we are a country that is inclined more into agribusiness. So you are also free to approach any of our branches for services and for finance. At this juncture, I wouldn't want to take much of your time, but I want to congratulate NBA for this event and want to wish NBA a good success into their future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. From Benki Chairo. Oh, and you left me a very nice pen here. I like it. May I? Oh, is it yours? Ah, he was claiming it here. These bankers of today. I shall deliver it to you, sir. Because you said I'm a church man and I pray. Now I can't just take it. Ah, yeah. Yeah, you know what? Come to think of it, while you were speaking, and you're talking about the CEOs that run our lives. So I was musing by myself and trying to figure out. I mean, because to say chief executive officer at home seems a bit. So I was wondering, what? Maybe chief insurance officer. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out. I'll come up with something by the end of the night. I promise. Something more beautiful. Yeah, endurance maybe. Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at this point we move on with our program. I'm going to ask a distinguished delegate tonight to come through and help introduce our guest of honor. So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the CEO of NBA, Dr. Mfanda Edza. He'll come through and introduce our guest of honor. Please give him a round of applause.
Good evening. Good evening. We want a live audience, is it? We are pretty excited tonight, and I don't want to take the limelight from the MC. Let me hasten to say that you are all welcome to this function as we celebrate our 10th year anniversary. And we really feel honored by your presence, and it will go down the annals of NBA history that we are celebrating this day, and indeed we are celebrating. Without taking much of the time and remarks, let me just say that NBA has a technological focus, and we man and regulate the technology transfer into the country. And with that in mind, let me introduce the man who is driving the research, development, and innovation policy at the ministry, our ministry, Ministry of Higher Tertiary Education, Science, Technology, Development. And he is representing the ministry today. And just to show that he's coming from a ministry whose drive is focusing on science, technology, innovation, I have Engineer Willie Ganda. He's a technology person, as shown by his qualification that I'll briefly outline. The list is quite long, but I'll paraphrase the list of his academic achievements, attesting his involvement in policy, driving science technology agenda at the ministry. Engineer Ganda has got a BSc engineering qualification in industrial and manufacturing engineering from NAST. He has got a master's in engineering manufacturing systems, engineering maintenance systems and operational management from NAST. He's got an MPhil in engineering for sustainable development, Cambridge, UK. He's got an MBA from Edinburgh Business School. Currently, he's winding off his PhD in economics, Peking, China. So, Engineer Ganda, welcome to this gathering representing our ministry. And may I call you, Engineer Ganda, to the podium and address the gathering. Thank you.
Good evening. One of the things I have to do every time when I'm given a platform is to adjust the microphone. The National Biotechnology Authority Interim Board Chairperson, Dr. Obadiah Moyo, and esteemed board members, the National Biotechnology Authority Chief Executive Officer, who has just introduced me, and Registrar, Dr. Jonathan Fandayadza, Management and Staff, directors from the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, Science and Technology Development, who are here tonight, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor and privilege to be with you here this evening to mark the 10th anniversary celebrations of the National Biotechnology Authority, dubbed NBA at 10. Biotechnology has been identified as one of the most promising tools that can bring about rapid and sustained social and economic development in Zimbabwe. The benefits arising from the application of biotechnology include increased food and nutritional security, reduced disease burden, and provision of clean fuel. The World Bank Consultative Group on International Agricultural Research estimated that biotechnology could help improve world food production by up to 25%. And you know, in this part of the world, food security is a major challenge. These potential benefits of biotechnology led the government to enact the National Biotechnology Authority Act of 2006 and its National Biosafety Framework. The National Biosafety Framework provides two key issues. The first one being harnessing biotechnology for promoting socio-economic development and thereby creating employment and growing export research. And number two, ensuring the adequate protection of the environment, human and animal health from potential risks which may arise from biotechnology application. As a competent authority on biosafety matters, the NBA has the National Biosafety Framework in place which comprises of the National Policy on Biotechnology, Policy of 2005, the National Biotechnology Authority Act of 2006, institutional arrangements in the form of institutional biosafety committees, IBCs, mechanisms for risk assessment, mechanisms for decision making, mechanisms for public participation, mechanisms for monitoring and enforcement through the Biosafety Inspectorate, and supporting guidelines and standards. These provisions allow the country to take advantage of the breakthroughs in biotechnology without compromising its long-term human and animal health, environmental and socio-economic interests. Although the use of biotechnology in Zimbabwe is still at its infancy, we have our own companies which use biotechnology to produce products for the public. These include, for example, Databot, Alpha and Omega, BioTech, African Institute of Biomedical Sciences and Technology, Biotechnology Research and Training Institute, the Scientific and Industrial Research and Training Center. Our universities and research institutes are also applying biotech in research and development. For example, the Harare Institute of Technology, NAST, UZ, the Great Zimbabwe University, Lupane State University, Midland State University, as well as the Chinhoyi University of Technology have established biotechnology degree programs. Our polytechnics are also offering diplomas in biotechnology, and under the STEM initiative, pupils are being introduced to biotechnology at the primary level. It is interesting to note that Zimbabwe was one of the first African countries to put in place a national biosafety framework, and as such, the NBA has assisted other African countries to put in place their biosafety frameworks. In 2013, the NBA hosted the biosafety registrar of Swaziland for 2 months for a biosafety internship. Ladies and gentlemen, today we celebrate the progress that has been achieved by the NBA in upholding the National Biotechnology Authority Act of 2006 and its adherence to regulating biotechnology products and processes. Some of the achievements of the NBA over the past 10 years include, number one, establishment of the state-of-the-art GMO testing laboratory, and this morning we witnessed the official opening of our level 1 biosafety lab, GMO testing laboratory. And then strengthening the national biosafety framework by putting in place institutional arrangements for regulation of biotechnology research, guidelines and standards. Opening of biosafety sub-offices at 10 of our ports of entry around the country. And creation of employment for 30 biotech graduates from our universities, including the UZ, NAST, MSU, CAT, as well as HIT. The NBA has also led resource mobilization from the European Union, for example, the sanitary and the phytosanitary grant, Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, Open Forum for Agricultural Biotechnology, the United Nations Environment Program under the Global Environment Facility, and the Biosafety Clearinghouse, 3 projects. Establishing a tissue culture project with the Horticultural Research Institute for the provision of virus-free planting material to farmers. To date, the project has produced 320,000 virus-free planting material to farmers for sweet potato planting, and with yields increased over 100%, being reported by the stakeholders who benefited from this virus-free planting material. As a consequence, the profit margins of our farmers have improved. The project also includes the development of virus-free banana planting materials, which is through work in progress. Human capital development of staff members and local, regional, and international stakeholders. We've seen 10 members of staff acquiring degrees, and 300 persons partook in various local and regional short training courses, such as the COMESA SADC Regional Biosafety Training and the Non-Aligned Movement Second Training Workshop on Industrial Biotechnology. Biotechnology, biosafety, and biosecurity awareness creation with the MBA opinion polls currently hitting a 1 million mark. The NBA has also provided sourced funding for local biotechnology researchers through the NBA collaborations with regional bodies. Through the NBA's involvement, for example, as a Southern African network or Biosciences Sun Bio Chair, Zimbabwe has received grants amounting to 6,328,000 rands, which has been received by our universities and other organizations in Zimbabwe. And also, NBA has led to the development of the first ever biotechnology documentary in Zimbabwe, with part 2 currently underway. The NBA has also hosted the first ever bioinformatics symposium in Zimbabwe, where spin-offs such as the H3A BioNet projects by ABST and NBA are underway. Lastly, the NBA has also been mainstreaming biosafety and biotechnology in curricula for bioscience programs, with curricula of 3 universities being reviewed in order to infuse biosafety modules. In terms of research, the target areas have been crop improvement, vaccine development, biofuel production, food processing, and environmental management. I'm happy to note that Some of our scientists have set up companies which produce biotechnology products or offer services thereof. These include the African Institute of Biomedical Sciences and Technology, AgriBiotech, and Zimbabwe Earthworm Farms. Our universities and institutions have set up biotechnology enterprises, and these include the National University of Science and Technology, which is focusing on human identification project using DNA fingerprinting. The Tobacco Research Board focuses on molecular diagnostics for crop species identification, and the Biomedical Research and Training Institute, which is undertaking an HIV drug vaccine genotyping project, as well as the Scientific and Industrial Research and Development Center, SRDC, which developed a drought-tolerant maize variety, Cedar Maize 113, through the use of marker-assisted selection. As the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, Science and Technology Development, our role is to coordinate and support scientific research, development, and innovation. We truly believe that the NBA will continue to strive and address the current socio-economic challenges through the ensuring the judicious application of biotechnology. With these remarks, I want to thank you all for paying attention to my speech, and I formally declare the National Biotechnology Authority 10th anniversary duly launched. I thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Another round of applause for Engineer Ganda. Thank you. I'm sure you saw the waiters coming through with some wine and some glasses that had some very nice looking, sweet smelling beverages. Those were not to be consumed immediately. If you did consume them, it's okay, we won't judge. I would like to propose a toast, if you do not mind. If you do not consume wine, please get a drink, get some water, whatever